All right, let's talk about rebooting the human machine. Today, we're going to treat our bodies like the incredibly advanced hardware they are and dive into a major software update coming out of Stanford. This could literally change how we think about aging and injury forever. Let's get into it.
You know the story we've all been told, right? For as long as we can remember, it's been the same thing. Your knees hurt, hips are aching. Oh, that's just wear and tear. It's a normal part of getting older, kind of like a tire losing its tread. But what if that entire story is just wrong?
I mean, the official line for medicine has always been pretty clear, and let's be honest, a little depressing. Once your cartilage is gone, it is gone for good. The only real fixes have been managing the pain or, eventually getting a full replacement with a bunch of metal and plastic parts.
But here comes the plot twist. According to brand new research from Stanford Medicine, that joint decay, it isn't an inevitable hardware failure. Turns out, it's a software problem, a glitch in our own cellular code. And you know the best part about a glitch? We might have just found the patch to fix it. Okay, so first things first, let's just completely debunk this wear and tear lie. It's time to meet the real culprit that's behind our aching joints, a specific molecule that's been quietly running a destructive program in our system for way too long.
The researchers have even given this class of troublemakers a name, Gerozymes. Just think of them as aging enzymes. Their whole job is to pop up as we get older and actively hit the brakes on our body's own natural repair functions. They are a huge reason why our tissues just don't bounce back the way they used to. And when it comes to our joints, the specific gerozyme they caught at the scene of the crime is a protein called 15-PGDH. You're going to want to remember that name because this thing, it is the villain of our story. It's the one piece of bad code that's causing the entire system to crash. Okay, just a quick and important heads up here. The information in this explainer is all based on new research, and it's for your education only. It is definitely not medical advice, so please always talk to a healthcare professional for that.
All right, let's get into the engineering of all this, because to really get what's going on, we have to stop thinking about our cartilage like some sponge that's just wearing thin. Instead, I want you to start thinking about it like a piece of hardware that just stopped getting its critical software updates. So on this slide, you can see the core conflict perfectly. On one side, you've got prostaglandin E2. This is your body's Repair.exe program. It's the script that's constantly running to maintain healthy tissue. But on the other side, you've got the glitch, 15-PGDH, and it has one single mission: find and destroy prostaglandin E2, basically deleting your repair code.
And get this, here's the real kicker. The research found that as we get older, the amount of this destructive 15-PDGH protein literally doubles inside our cartilage. We're not talking about a small change here. This is a hostile takeover of your joint's entire operating system.
So how do you fix a bug like that? Well, you run a patch. This new drug they've developed is a Gerozyme inhibitor. So let's walk through this system reboot. First, the drug gets introduced. It immediately finds and terminates that rogue 15-PDGH background process. With the villain gone, the levels of that repair script, prostaglandin E2, can finally rise back to normal. And, just like that, Repair.exe is back online.
Now you might be thinking, okay, cool, this is great for my grandparents. But if you think that, you are missing a huge part of the story here. This discovery is an absolute game changer for anyone who loves to push their body to its limits. We're talking about proactive maintenance for the human machine.
Yeah, seriously. If you're into CrossFit, or you love lifting heavy, or you're training for some crazy endurance event, you've probably just accepted that joint pain is part of the deal, right? The price of admission. Well, this research suggests it doesn't have to be. This is about preventing the damage before it becomes permanent, not just trying to fix it decades down the road.
And just think about this for a second. About half, 50% of all people who tear their ACL will develop osteoarthritis in that same joint inside of 15 years. That is a ticking clock.
But what if you could actually stop that clock? I mean, this quote from Dr. Nidhi Bhutani, one of the lead researchers, really says it all. The results they were seeing weren't just good, they were a dramatic regeneration, beyond anything they had ever seen before. This could actually mean that preventing arthritis after a major injury is finally possible.
We are about to get into exactly how this cellular reprogramming works in just a second. But first, hey, if you're getting some real value out of this breakdown, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button for the Vitality algorithm on YouTube. We're dropping more explainers on the science of human performance all the time.
So let's get to the really cool part. How does this repair actually happen? Because this is probably the most surprising piece of the whole discovery, and it's not at all what you'd expect.
Right. When we hear the word regeneration, our brains immediately go to stem cells. It makes sense. But that's not what's happening here. In fact, the researchers found that stem cells had nothing to do with it. This is a totally new pathway for tissue repair.
So how does it work then? Well, it sends a software update directly to the cells that are already on site. Your own cartilage cells, they're called chondrocytes, they get reprogrammed. They get their original, youthful instructions sent back to them, and they switch from a destroy mode back to a build mode.
In this chart, wow, it just shows the results perfectly. After the treatment, the number of cells that were responsible for degrading cartilage, it plummeted. At the same time, the population of healthy cartilage-building cells almost doubled, jumping from just 22% all the way up to 42%. You're not adding new parts, you're just upgrading the ones you've already got.
Now, I know this all sounds incredible, maybe a little too good to be true, but is it real? Well, let's take a look at the proof of concept and see just how far along this research really is.
The path they've laid out is actually surprisingly clear and fast. First, it showed that dramatic regeneration in both old mice and injured mice. Then, they took actual human cartilage tissue from patients who were already getting knee replacements, treated it in the lab, and guess what? It started to regenerate. And maybe most important of all, a pill version of this drug has already passed phase 1 safety trials in humans for another condition. The next logical step is to launch clinical trials specifically for cartilage.
And all of this, it really brings us to the biggest question of all. What does this really mean for the future? Well, we could be looking at the beginning of the end of the whole bionic era.
So I'll just leave you with this thought to chew on. Could we really be walking into an era where replacing our joints with plastic and metal just becomes a thing of the past? An era where we don't have to replace the machine, but instead we just help the human machine finally repair itself? It looks like Repair.exe is finally back online. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you want to keep decoding the science of human performance with us, make sure to subscribe. We will see you next time.